Good day, everyone. We are the Group 8, and we are going to share a video presentation about foreign and economic policies of El Salvador and Paraguay.
El Salvador and Paraguay. The contemporary foreign and economic policies of their assigned Latin American countries. Learning targets objective. At the ends of the report, the student should be able to know the economic policies of each place, to understand what the importance of knowing the economic history of each country, and to understand the topic all about. El Salvador is a country of Central America. The El Salvador is the smallest and most densely population of the 7 Central American countries, and despite of having a little level land, it traditionally was an agricultural country heavily dependent upon coffee exports. And by the end of the 20th century, however, the service sector had come to dominate the economy. The capital is San Salvador. The San Salvador though is the smallest country in the Central America, and this country though had suffered a lot from persistent low levels of the growth and poverty. Reduction in the country has been moderate. But after they suffer a lot from the poverty and the low level of growth, and now after the decade of El Salvador is now one of the most equal countries in the Latin American. So yan. After daw sa mga pagsubok na naranasan nila, now isa na sila sa most equal countries sa Latin America. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of El Salvador mission is promote development and cooperation, consular relation, and promote the protection of the rights of Salvadorans abroad. Its main activity include regional integration, development cooperation, economic relation, and institutional strengthening. El Salvador economy was predominantly agricultural until the industry rapidly expanded in the 1960s and 70s. Despite its traditional constitutional and on agriculture, and the country is not self-sufficient and must import of foods. At the root of this problem is the disproportionate distribution of land, which favors and commercial crops and leaves many pleasant landless and unable to grow with the substance of crops. During the civil wars in 1980s and early 1990s, the U.S. government supplied El Salvador with the large of military and economic. A decade after it began the war and had to destroy the country economy and its infrastructure, and neither side was winning until after the signing of the peace accords in 1992. The El Salvador economy is begun to recover from the effect of wars. After though the war na nahitabo sa ila adto na time, but after the peace accords in 1992, the El Salvador economy has begun daw na naka-recover sa nahitabo adto na war. And by the mids of 1990s, El Salvador had expanded its service industry by the help of US. Thus, El Salvador economy growth up faster. So, by the help though of US, an economy ng El Salvador no grow up daw faster. So it means after the war, by the help of the US, no grow na ang ila economy. And sa pagsubok na ila na naranasan, now nakaangat na sila. In the early of 2000s, the amount of agricultural exports was increased and the numbers of their constructions of products. So, after daw dito nahitabo sa ilang na war, sa ilang nahitabo na mga poverty, now nag-increase na number ng ilang reconstructions of products sa and then sa agricultural exports nila. The most important agricultural products in El Salvador are coffee, cotton, corn, and sugarcane, and etc. The several species of palm and coconut trees grow in the coastal zone, and there are so many agricultural products in El Salvador. Resources and power. There is no mineral exploitation of significance in El Salvador because the main power sources and meeting the most of the country need are the hydroelectric project on Limpa River, 35 miles and 56 km northern San Salvador, which are administered by the government agency. In the 1980, the Century Commercial Bank and its expand marketing agencies were nationalized. By the early of 1990s, this trend had been reversed and comprehensive privatization program was implemented which continued through the early of 2000s. And the 2001 El Salvador adopted the US dollar as its national currency. And the El Salvador doubt continues to be dependent upon the external support and the world commodity price from its economic stability and well-being, and particularly from the United States. By the health of United States, ang El Salvador continues to dependent upon the support of the world commodity. And the country commercial bank exports the marketing agency were denationalized. So it means nagdepend ba sa gihapon ang El Salvador sa help ng US. That's why they adopt the US dollar as its national currency.
So hi everyone, here is the second topic, Paraguay, foreign and economic policies. Land of Paraguay. Paraguay is bounded by Bolivia to the northwest and north, Brazil to the northeast and east, and Argentina to the southeast, south, and west. Landlocked country in south-central South America. Asuncion is the capital of Paraguay. It is located on the east bank of Paraguay River, opposite to the mouth of its primary western tributary, the Comayo River. The Paraguay River, which runs from the north to south, divides Paraguay into two distinct geographic regions: the region Oriental or Eastern region and the region Occidental West region, also called the Chaco Boreal. Ethnic groups. Paraguay has one of the most homogeneous population of any South American country. The vast majority of inhabitants are almost all mestizo of mixed European and Indian ancestry. They pride themselves of their Guarani descent, although the admixture of European traits is prominent. About 300,000 Brazilians, many of them farmers, immigrated to the eastern region of Paraguay. Language. In the 1992 Constitution, Spanish and Guarani are the official language of Paraguay. Guarani is spoken by nearly 9/10 of the population, but it has only been used as a language of instruction in schools since 1996. Spanish is used almost exclusively in government and business. At least half of the population bilingual. The Constitution is also recognized other Indian language as part of the country's heritage. Religion. About 9/10 of the population professes adherence to Roman Catholicism. There is a sizable minority of evangelical Protestant. The Constitution recognizes no official religion and emphasizes the state's independence from Roman Catholic. Economy of Paraguay. The economy of Paraguay is market economy that is highly dependent on agriculture products. In recent years, Paraguay's economy has grown as a result of increased agricultural export. Paraguay has the economic advantages of a young population and vast hydroelectric power. The situation changed with the establishment of several states companies, most notably Itaipu Binational, set up in 1973 to build a huge hydroelectric dam on the Paraña and steel, cement, and alcohol distillation plants. Public sector investments in Paraguay has low by Latin American standards and was concerned mainly with improving roads, telecommunication, and air transport. Impressive economic growth, particularly in 1970s, was not matched by the government efforts to distribute its benefits equitably. Most Paraguayans, especially in rural areas, remain poor. The police and armed forces absorb a large proportion of the budget. During the late 17th century, public sector employment grew rapidly, making up about 1/10 of the labor force. Until 1982, when the construction of the Itaipu Dam was complete, Paraguay was able to offset its trade deficit with international loans. For the rest of the decade, however, the country was faced with a growing fiscal deficit, high debt, repayments on commercial borrowing, and dwindling international reserves. Economic mismanagement during early 2000s led to a near difficult on external debt repayment obligations, which was narrowly averted by strict adherence to an international monetary fund stabilization program. From the middle of the first decade of 21st century, the economy began to experience escalating growth as a rapid increase in export of soybeans and meat products. Paraguay's economic freedom score is 62.9, making its economy the 73rd freest in 2022 index. Paraguay is ranked 17th among 32 countries in America's region, and its overall score is above regional and world average. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Agriculture is one of the most important economic activities in Paraguay, employing about 1/4 of the workplace. It accounts for about 1/5 of the gross domestic product and vast majority of export. Important cash crops include soybeans, corn, maize, wheat, rice, rapeseed, sesame, sugarcane, peanuts, groundnuts, and cassava manioc. Many farmers practice direct sowing and mechanized system intended to preserve land nutrients and avoid erosion. Much of the grain in Paraguay is grown by that method. Resources and power. Paraguay has relatively few proven mineral resources, and most mineral deposits are found east of the Paraguay River. Manganese is located near Emboscada, malachite and azurite copper ores near Capocchio, Encarnacion, and San Miguel. Feldspar and mica near Concepcion, and talc and ferropeta hard iron bearing flagstone near Capocchio and San Miguel. Orchi is found in the Cordillera region, and gypsum and limestone are found near in the Paraguay River. There is some peat near Pilar. Copper, bauxite, iron, and uranium ores have been reported, and the beginning and early 2000s, concessions were granted to companies for gold and diamond prospecting. Extensive drilling and the Paraguay Choco has failed to find any commercially viable hydrocarbons. Despite two varied mineral resources, mining and quarrying are among of the least developed economic activities because of the limited quantities of proven mineral reserve. There is quarrying of only limestone, gypsum, and clays, which are used mostly in constructions. Energy. Paraguay's most important natural resources is its hydroelectric potential. Most electricity in Paraguay came from wood and oil-burning thermoelectric plants in Asuncion until the Acaray hydroelectric power plant began operating in 1968. The picture beside is the Acaray hydroelectric power plant. Itaipu Dam is one of the largest dams in the world and has one of the world's highest land generating capacities. Work was complete in 1982 on the main gravity dam, 643 feet, 196 meters high, and 4,045 feet, 1,233 meters long, expanding the Paraña. The reservoir created by the dam covers about 870 square miles, 2,250 square kilometers of Paraguayan and Brazilian territory. The last of its many turbines was complete in 2007. The picture beside is the Itaipu Dam. Manufacturing. Manufacturing is generally small scale and direct toward processing agricultural products. Those include refined soybean oil, flour, sugarcane, thin meat, textile, leather products, alcohol, beer, and cigarettes. Trade of Paraguay. Paraguay imports machinery, petroleum and petroleum products, chemicals, and automobile and bus parts. Brazil, China, Argentina, the United States, and Japan are the main sources of Paraguay's imports. The country's trade statistic has been severely underestimated because of widespread smuggling of consumers' goods to Brazil and Argentina.
And that would be all for the foreign and economic policies of El Salvador and Paraguay. Thank you for listening. May God bless you.